What's up, everybody? Whew. Tired. We did not get in last night until 1 a.m. Spent a 7-hour round trip to drive up into the mountains, the Blue Ridge Mountains up in North Carolina to go pick up this, which I'm fixing to reveal to you. Yeah, it's kind of a nostalgic thing. You guys know, if you follow my videos, I'm a nostalgia geek. My son gets it honest. But yeah, spur of the moment, we'd been eyeballing this thing during the week. It just kind of happened to fall together late yesterday afternoon. So we busted tail, went up to the mountains, up in the curves, all that good stuff, way back up in the mountains, North Carolina, and got this. So anyway, we're gonna do a quick reveal here for you, and we'll show you what we got going on. It's pretty cool. All right, 18 feet long, Dixie Boat Works. You tired?
Yeah, I'm pretty tired. It's a long run.
It's about noon today, the next day, but as I said in the intro, on my video anyway, on his, he'll do an intro for his, but yeah, we had what, 7 hours?
Yeah, 7 hours.
About 7 hours round trip.
Up in North Carolina.
All up in the Blue Ridge Mountains,
Yep.
Way back in there. Pretty beautiful area for a good bit of that road. Actually, if you want to look it up, it was, what is it, Fontana Dam?
Fontana, yeah, it's all up there.
Fontana Dam, it's a small,
cabins and all that stuff.
it's a small lake back up in the mountains, and it's kind of like a little community right there, but it's really small, really nice. I wouldn't mind going back up and checking it out again. But anyway, what do you think?
I think there's a lot of potential here.
Yep.
We'll dig into it more here in just a minute. But
Yeah, let's jump into it and kind of show you some of the features we got going on. But again, it's falling into that, oddly enough, it falls into that nostalgia thing that if you guys follow me, you know I'm a nostalgia geek. As I said, he gets it honest, so he's the same way.
you already told him what the model was?
This is a 1979. As you can tell by the styling of the stickers here, it's got the cool color grades going on. Definitely, late 70s, early 80s vibes going on.
So far, I don't know if you did any more digging, but so far it's what I'm catching. We gotta do some more looking, but it's looking like a 79 Dixie. It's a 187 model is the model of it. It's an 18 footer. Supposed to be like a 190 something horsepower motor, inline six, something like that, but we'll get in there.
Yeah. Just as a side note, these Dixie Boat, what is it? Dixie Boat Works, I think is what it's called. They're actually manufactured. They were manufactured in North Carolina, and for the most part, according to the history so far, I think it was in Tennessee shortly for a little while, but for the most part, it's been in North Carolina the whole time. The trailer, pretty sure, is a matching trailer. Probably the trailer that came with it, but everything's kind of as a package deal. We ended up with the trailer, the boat, the whole deal, and actually even the trailer lights and everything still worked, which was good considering we were coming back in the dark last night. We got lucky. We hooked them up, brake lights, everything, running lights, everything worked good on it. We got a really good deal on it. I'm not going to tell you how sweet, because we got a pretty sweet deal on it, I hope. As we get into it, we'll find out. Maybe a reason, but so far, yeah. But let's get into what's going on with the boat here. Lee will be back here in just a second, and we'll kind of do a quick walkthrough. I don't know. It's pretty cool, man. 1979, 18-foot, boat. We can fish out of it. We can pleasure boat in it. A lot of different things. Anyway, yeah. Let's get back to it.
For what? For something to cook? Yeah, that's fine.
All right, let's see if I can climb up in this thing. My old knees sometimes don't want to work as good as they used to. Anyway, yeah, Check out that carpet, man. Is that not vintage carpet? That is like totally 70s.
Old yellow.
I bet it was more of a gold, kind of, if you can tell by the paint scheme going on here. But I mean, the carpet's all down inside. It's even still got the vinyl trim package going on. Here's a few things missing here and there, but got the little swing walk-through window. Go to the bow. All that still works.
And then we were talking about last night, looking at these snaps here. If y'all can see these, there's some here and across the front here. Not sure, maybe there was a, it's got to be, I think the ones up here on the top of the windshield is a canopy design. So you got a canopy that can snap into this. But then I think they made a snap-in system here too, maybe to keep more wind off of you, maybe out riding in the cooler season or something. And of course keep sun off of you with the cap.
Right.
And then you got those rails you were talking about.
Yeah, these rails, I'm pretty sure that's so you can lay it down and set it back up.
Right,
It's got the
slide
old
your
aluminum rails on it.
Yeah.
But check this out, okay? This is what we're looking at. We got, what is that, 665 hours is what it's showing. The controls, all the controls, we checked everything last night. The throttle controls and all that, they're shifting the carb. Steering is turning really tight. The steering is actually still tight for that outdrive back there in the back. We'll, as we go through the boat and learn a little bit more about it, we'll get some more information on some of this other.
But like you say, everything's tight and operating it good. I mean, even the buttons are all steel.
Look, we came back with some kind of creature from North Carolina. Look at that. Ooh.
Bite you on it.
Trying to pinch you. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, what we got going on is this has. You want to explain the motor situation?
Well, not 100% on it, but it's supposed to be like they used like a Chevrolet type motors back in those days. Chevrolet had these inline sixes, and apparently they're pretty strong bulletproof motor.
I need
to dig more into it, but
yeah, it was Mercruiser, but GM actually was a GM built motor.
Yeah,
which another thing for us,
Chevrolet,
we got the old Tahoe here. We got the old Suburban of mine, and we actually took the other Tahoe to go pick this up last night.
Yeah. And don't quote me on it, but supposedly some of these inline sixes like this were put in some of the old trucks or something back in the day, and but it's also got it's a Mercruiser outboard there, yeah. So.
But I mean, as we looked through it last night, this was actually sitting under a big carport. I don't know, of course, whether or not it's sat under a carport and been sheltered its whole life, but I mean, the motor looks really good. There was no water, no oil leaks down in the well there. They said the last time, I think he said they took it out once last year. Is that what he said?
Yeah, he said about once last year. But like you said, there's no oil in the bottom, nothing sitting here dripping. There's a little bit, kind of on the outside over here, but I think that's just where somebody was trying to fill it, because it's not, there ain't no major leaks sitting here nowhere. And the thing is, look at how open everything is. If you need to get in here and rebuild, replace, whatever.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of room to get to everything.
Pretty clean down in there, which, of course, we can go through the carburetor. I mean, everything's right here. It's easy to get to.
Yeah.
These seats are removable. So you got all this space to get in here and work.
Like we say, that's that Mercruiser outdrive too.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you say? There was a boot that's got to be replaced?
I think the boots are called bellows. The bellow boots down there. There's a whole kit that you can buy. I'm just gonna buy the whole kit, replace them all. But the top boot has a little hole in it. Somebody tried to do some patchwork in it. Top boot's got some hole in, that's gonna let water in the boat if we don't fix that. But again, you can see, you can get to everything. It's
right.
Simple to work on. These old motors are pretty simple to work on. So we'll see what we get into. But did you already say that it was turning over? We turned her over?
No, I hadn't got into that, but yeah, we actually we took your jump box, didn't we?
Yep.
Took your jump box, and actually your battery compartment is actually behind here.
Yep.
And there's your cables, of course. So we hooked to those with the jump box. Just shot it with a light amount of starting fluid just to kind of make sure it was going to turn over. And I mean, it's good and strong sounding. Sounds like it's got good compression.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'm sure he went through those basics to try to get it running, because it's got he said it's got a new coil on it, which you can see that, and it's got new plugs on it. These wires don't look too terribly old, but I know it has new plugs, and he said a new coil, which it looks fairly new. Distributor cap don't look too bad or old.
So he got it. He said he got it a year ago.
Yeah, he's had it for a year.
And I think he started working on it.
I think he was going to do something with it. I think he's seen big potential in it for what he got it for. But like you say, he had he had that Volkswagen and some other classic cars. And
that's what I was supposed to say. He had some other vehicles. And damn, excuse me. I think he was an older gentleman too, so
yeah.
And I think
because a few things I asked him about it, or price, or what he was going to do with it. He kind of seemed kind of disappointed that he had to sell it or get rid of it. I think he had plans for it, but things fall through.
Yeah, he had He had an old was a 69 or 70 Volkswagen.
Yeah.
And it was actually it looked pretty sweet.
Yeah, it was really
but
neat.
He had something going on with it.
He said he bought a motor, and he spent like $1,500 on the motor, and the third cylinder or something didn't have compression or something like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know a whole lot about those.
But his wife was pretty adamant about getting shit out of the boat because
Yeah.
she wanted her Volkswagen fixed.
Yeah.
And then he had a 67, what was that, old Chevrolet Classic or something up in there, old
Yeah.
67.
Yeah.
But anyway,
price
so
that we picked this one up, I mean, you can't.
yeah, that's what I was telling him. I kind of told him, I said, well, for the, what was I saying?
About the price.
Yeah, the price. I was telling these guys, I said, we got it for cheap. I
Yeah.
didn't really want to disclose how cheap we got it, but
Yeah, but
we got a good deal on it.
It was cheap.
Let's put it this way: what we paid for it
Is below the motor's price.
Yeah, the motor and the outdrive, it was, if you could have picked it up for that, you were still getting a steal out of it.
Yeah. I mean,
But,
it wasn't a walk away, as in it screwed him on his price. He made something, and he's gonna be able to put that in his vehicle.
Well, he said he
But
paid.
for
He said he
us-
paid what he got out of it.
Right. Yeah,
So
and
what he paid for it, we give him. So
But for us, that gives a lot of room to make this boat what it needs to be,
yeah,
and not be over. Still not be nowhere over what shouldn't be over what the boat is valued as total. I think I seen them. They were like, I don't know, they were 3, 4, 5 grand. It depends on how well the model's been taken
Right.
care of. I mean, you could be up into a $10,000 boat with these things,
right.
perfect condition.
Well, I mean, just the age of them alone being
perfect condition,
40,
classic vintage boat. Yeah.
47-year-old boat.
Right. They
But I
could
mean,
be-
the hull, we'll jump back out and I'll show you down the hull. But I mean, there's no cracks. The hull's in sweet shape. The gel coat even has a nice shine to it. We noticed in the pictures that they had taken right off the bat that you had really good mirrored reflections of the spare tire that were showing on that. And of course, you got oxidation and stuff going on here on the on the top.
You see right
from,
here.
from normal use, but
Just this
yeah, as you
spot
can see
alone.
where he rubbed the spot right there a little bit.
Just some. I mean, it's.
And I mean, it'll probably come back pretty
You
good.
throw some buffer stuff in here
Yeah.
and wax the top again, but the sides don't look nothing like this. Y'all seen a little bit of the sides.
Yeah.
They looks like it ain't hardly been in the water.
Yeah. And also a lot of the trim, as you can see, the chrome, the swim ladder still in good shape. I actually used that to climb up on it yesterday.
Yeah, we've been up.
I
and down
tested
it several
that.
times.
I'm 215 pounds, so
It's in good shape.
a lot of stuff. I mean, there's a few things missing here and there, but I mean, a lot of the trim package stuff is still here. Windshield again is in great shape. You got the rails up here still good. Got your red and green on top up there still good. Got good airflow through your ports. The windshield and everything, this still closes good. I don't know if it closed, so it showed that a minute ago, but
Yeah, Yeah, and it's got a little.
It still
latch
latches
on it.
good.
Go out in the cold, keeps that cool air off of you.
About, you know, of course, with the age, you've got, you know, the covering for the seats and stuff, of course, is somewhat dry rotted, so we may have to do some tweaking with that.
Storage under that one.
And you got a little storage, got a little storage compartment under here. This one doesn't have storage, but but you got storage under the seats. Of course, they flip up.
I think it's just this side, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they fold and kind of flip up, and you've got little storage compartments under there.
Both of them. They need a good cleaning, but you know.
The decking is actually really solid, except for a little spot over there right
Just a
behind
little
him.
spot. It's right down
It's a
there.
little bit. I mean, it's still standable. It's not going to fall through with you,
No,
but
it's just
but it is.
It ain't even. It doesn't even go up there. It's right here, and then of course maybe replace this old center board that hides your fuel tank. And
Yeah,
all
there's
that.
your fuel tank under there.
But you see right here. I mean, it's it's replaceable. It's not.
And actually, this panel right here would be easily replaceable, and it probably needs to be. It does have a little sag to it, but I
Yeah.
mean, you can go back in there with a good solid piece, and maybe even
Replace
throw
it.
some epoxy on it, and
Replace that. I mean, but this is all. The rest of this is solid.
yeah,
It's all solid.
good size little dog house there. Holds your motor. But I mean, look at the deck size. I mean, the deck size alone. We were in the description of the boat. It really was a kind of a. Let me spin back around again. In the description of the boat, she didn't really have a lot of information on it. You know, a little bit, the motor and that. She didn't even have the year model on it, but we knew by looking at the stickers and some of the design work that we were looking at. Matter of fact, he had asked me, and I had said I was estimating probably an 80, 81 to 82, somewhere in that range, and 79.
Yeah,
So,
right on.
but yeah, I mean, with this kind of space, I'm gonna step back up here and get a whole shot here, maybe.
I mean, the thing is, it's an 18-footer, but the camera, obviously, cameras don't do justice to how much room is really in this.
But
thing.
you've got a lot of deck space back here. So whether you're pleasure boating, you take the kids out and have a good time, or we're going to do some modifications so that we can do a combo thing, because we like catfish, we like fish.
Right, for family boat fishing, boat camping. Possibly.
Yeah, we were actually discussing taking it out and actually doing a boat camp and cook type video. We might do that sometime too. But I mean, there's a lot of put your feet out, stretch your feet out.
Yeah.
You can see he's got his feet stretched out, and you're how tall? Right at six.
About 6 foot, yeah.
So he's right at
You
about
got
6
somebody
foot.
sitting right here. I mean, they got their room for their. I mean,
So there's a lot of deck space if you want to take this thing out and fish off of it, which is what we're going to try to do. We're going to try to do a combo pleasure boat, of course, for the family, but also have something we can go out and, even in the wintertime, we can take this thing out, and if we get a cover and stuff for this thing,
cover the front,
we can go out and we can catfish off this thing. And actually, with this deck here that I'm standing in, this little spot here, you've got the seats, of course, but we were talking last night, we could make a removable. Let me spin this back around again. You can make a removable, we were talking about last night, for this area right here. Those seats could easily be popped out. We're talking about making a little deck platform that can actually we can slap in when we're going to do some fishing. We can slap a whole deck platform in there and have a nice fishing deck kind of thing to stand on for on the front. So, but anyway. Yeah, that was one of the things we wanted to show was the soft spot there. Got a little soft spot there.
That'll be,
probably
a future video. But I mean, everything else is solid.
I mean, everything else is like really.
I went under the boat, knocked all under the boat. I knocked under the rear end of the boat. I mean, there's nothing sounds rotten. Nothing sounds hollow. It's all.
I mean, even me. I mean, like I said, this is. You could take it out and work with that. That's not. I mean, it's got a little weak, and like I said, I'm 200 plus, so it's got a little weak spot there. But that's nothing that can't be remedied. Let me see.
And it may involve. This ain't rotten over here, but if you look down here, just because of where the latch to the doghouse lines up down here, it kind of fell through here. So maybe at least. From right here, replace both these sides, put the latches back on the doghouse, replace this center, just to make everything nice and smooth and even looking. But behind the console, you got what? 6 people back here, 6 seats.
Yeah, you got 6 seats
alone
right off the back, and if you
you're
wanted
taking your time, yeah, you got 2, maybe 3, maybe 4.
You know, not hauling ass across the lake,
Right,
but if you wanted to bring a couple extra people, you do have the bow area up there for.
And you want to watch your weight limit, stuff like that. But it could be done with that many folks, or 4 or 5 folks and some kids.
Yeah, just for an afternoon, take out and go swim a little bit.
You got room, and then like you're talking about for fishing, look at all the dang side room you got for rod holders and setups and stuff. I mean. There's a lot of potential, a lot of different things that could be done with a boat like this.
These little storage racks in here, they're still solid too.
And if y'all have watched enough of our content, maybe from the pages we're on now or previous pages, you know that we don't take something, just turn it back stock and leave it alone. It's got to be versatile. We do make it our own. So.
Well, we get a little silly sometimes too. So hang on. Yeah, we get a little silly sometimes. We were joking last night. I told him, I said, this thing definitely got that 70s vibe going on to it. And I had hopped in the vehicle at home and was talking to him on the phone at the same time.
Yeah, when I brought it up to you, we were talking about going and getting it.
We were talking about going and getting it. And we were talking about, it being vintage and the 79 thing and all that being cool. And I turned the truck on. And the radio came on, and there's a local station that plays a really big mix of different types of music. But I flipped it on, and I'd be a son of a gun if it wasn't the Saturday Night Fever theme song was playing. I told him, I said, "Oh Lord," I said, "we might have to change the name, get a separate channel, and just call it Nostalgia Bites." And we'll trick this thing out, clean it all up, and we'll come out here and we'll fish in 70s attire, true 70s attire. Go by the thrift store, get some 70s attire and do nothing but strictly 70s and 80s lure fishing, and
sticker on the side.
I even told him one time, I said, "Hey, we might have to change it. We got to name the boat, so we might have to call it Dixie Disco," even though we don't really listen to disco. But anyway, Dixie Disco has a nice ring to it. You got to admit. But anyway, yeah, there's no telling. We're not hardcore. Going to restore it to the exact specs and all that kind of stuff. The main point of it is we got an 18-foot boat, man. We can get out here and we can have some fun. We'll do some fixing up.
We want something that is usable.
Yeah, something we can get out here and have some fun.
And it's all, regardless of what we do, it's a pretty boat. It's going to look good, regardless if you're after looks, but it needs to work. It needs to be usable.
Yeah,
and this boat, there's lots of storage. It looks good. I mean, you got plenty of seating. You're comfortable. There's a lot of options going on here.
I think it's going to be a fun thing, I mean, I know what they say. I'm from South Florida, as I may have mentioned before in any of my videos. So, being from South Florida, deep South Florida, I know the origins and everything. The old saying, the two best days in your life is the first day you buy a boat, and the second day you get rid of that boat. But, we're pretty avid about being on the water and fishing. Even though, when fall gets here, we'll do some hunting and we do a lot of truck camping and, we do a lot of different things. But
this something like this changes the fall and winter too. Like, I mean, I get heavy into hunting and stuff, but having something this big you have a chance, especially with a canopy and the snaps, you have a chance to kind of keep yourself out of that element, but fish that cold time of year. Fish
we can go out and hit
your buddy heater in.
We can go out and hit striper. There's a lot of opportunity here. I've still got the 14-foot John boat.
Yep.
As a matter of fact, I was doing some tweaking on some things because I bought one of them Chinese motors, and we're gonna see how it works. But I bought that, put it on there. And so we do still have that, and actually for a little while we're probably going to have to fish out of that until we're secure that this boat is going to be able to be dependable. And of course you got to be sure, got to check everything out, make sure it's going to be able to withstand chop, on the water. Being that it is a 79, it is older, but I'm pretty confident from what we've seen so far.
Yeah,
I'm pretty confident that the actual structure of the boat is in good shape.
Yeah. And then this being, it's actually a bow rider, I think is what they call it, bow rider, not bow, bow rider. And they're actually supposed to be one of the better boats for taking chop and taking
taking
the water.
Well, I mean, we can,
and just to be able to stand on something that you can do whatever the heck you want on it, and it's balanced.
say we can run down
Out
home.
of it.
We can run down home to Apalachicola, East Point, Cedar Key. That's the areas that I kind of grew up around. You know, this is perfectly fine. You know, you're not going to go 100 miles offshore with it necessarily, but
you could get out there.
You could get out there offshore a little bit, on good days, and so we can, of course, you got to rinse and take care of everything, and flush your motors and all that with salt water. But and I don't know that's ever even seen salt water, to be honest with you, but if we get it going and it's in good shape,
it's going to see sometime.
It will, because I like to go back home whenever I can. And we usually try to go, even if it's only 3 or 4 days, usually we hope to try to do at least a week. Take the family down. Everybody kind of splits up and does their things. We go to the beach, St. Joseph Peninsula.
This is actually from our last trip down there.
So we try to get back when we can. Of course, we're poor folks like a lot of everybody else. So it takes a little time to put those trips together. But if we can, maybe if we can get our YouTube pages going, maybe we can at least compensate for some of the cost.
That's another reason things like this come along. It don't matter what you do and what you make. You can have a good time. You don't have to spend a crap ton.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the other thing.
That's like the motorcycle that I sold for this. It's an old '95 Suzuki Intruder 800.
But we went and picked that up in the mountains too.
Up in LJ or Blue, it was somewhere.
And it had set for how long?
7 years. It sat.
It sat for 7 years.
Pull it out, go through the carburetors, put a new. I give $500 for it. I didn't have not even $800 in that bike, and rode the fire out of it, and then flipped it.
And made money.
And then got something like this. I mean, you ain't got to be a millionaire to.
It's the same concept, with the boat. We'll take it and we'll have a good time with it, and if we prosper, some through the next year or so, we may step up and buy maybe an older one, or we may buy a cabin cruiser,
right? Or
just a good center console, something like that. I don't know. It's all a progression. Yep. So, but anyway, the main thing is, man, just get out and have some fun,
Yep. And we got something here. We got something here to start with.
He's got little children now that are just getting old enough to start, building memories that they'll have. So there'll be time for that, and of course we got other family and friends. We can take them out and go have a good time, do a little fishing or a little boating. And I'm pretty sure this thing probably ski boat a little bit.
Yeah, actually that's kind of a little bit of what they somewhat label them at, or back then they were labeled as. With the horsepower it had, I mean, that was moving on the water then.
Yeah.
And you can pull tube behind you and stuff like that if you want to. I mean, they're supposed to be good motors, bulletproof. I mean, you don't want to be hard on it and wear it the heck out, but I mean, it's gonna do us good.
But the big thing is, and going back to us, I know there's a lot of channels out there that they've got the boats, man. They've got them tweaked. They're sweet. Everything from damn flat bottom boats with the damn gator tails on them to the big center consoles, and matter of fact, one of the people I follow, he actually does he builds skinny boats, and he just put a video up here. I don't know if it was recently or not, but it was a video on him making the cut coming from Miami going to the Bahamas and that. So there's a lot of content, and a lot of it is based off of this kind of high end type stuff. And to be honest with you, if I was to hit the lottery, and that's always scared the hell out of me, to be honest with you, just to let you know. But if you were to win, some money, it wouldn't change how we are. I'm too damn old to change, first of all. But yeah, I mean, we're just kind of like that. We're just more real. We're more realistic. We don't. And I know that helps our channels. But
if I see something, if I went out when we went to go find a boat, like we got this boat, and I just went and financed one.
Yeah.
Well, I mean.
Yeah.
First of all, look at all the money I just spent. I mean, it's all. If you have money, that's great and grand. But if I went out and financed it, look at all that I'm spending on a brand new boat. I feel like I'm going to appreciate, personally, it's just how I am, not how y'all are, but personally, I feel like I'm going to appreciate this boat a million times more because we went and got it, we put some work into it, and we put it on the water, and it's, I don't know, there's just a different, different value to that.
And plus, I'm kind of blessed in the fact that he's taken on some of my approach in life. which is, you know, I mean, when I was younger, of course, I fell into a lot of it, the same as everybody else did. But you know, to go out and finance, and especially nowadays, good Lord, to buy a truck, you're looking at what, 80 grand,
Yep.
brand new. You know, you can go out here and spend a little time, be patient, and find what you want, and you're not sitting on something that's so much overhead that you can't eat.
Well, that's the other thing too.
You know?
You could still. It's not about you don't need a new vehicle. You don't need to go. You can still not have a whole lot of money and still work your way up to that new vehicle through trading and selling and making without spending that $50, $60, $70, $80,000.
Yeah.
I mean, it can happen.
I mean,
I just like older stuff.
I've had the opportunity to have a couple of new vehicles, and I say new, you know, probably within a year of being brand new, basically. But you know, and my wife's got she's got a pretty nice 4-door Jeep that she likes. I'm not a Jeep person, you know us. We're old Chevrolet guys.
We got that too. We got 2017 Hyundai Sonata, and I'm completely. It ain't about trying to be old school or none of that. 100%. I'd rather get in that 95 Chevrolet every single day.
Well, I mean, you know, to be able to work on stuff yourself is a big plus. If you can take an older vehicle and when your repair time comes, you don't have to take it to the shop and toss down $2-3 grand just for the simplest of things, and you can do it yourself. You know, my old Suburban, I bought that Suburban, and I had an old square body Suburban years ago, but I bought that one in 2014, I think, and I've been driving ever since. I'm pushing 300,000 miles now. Still takes me truck camping, still takes me fishing. I work out of it half the time. You know, but the thing is, you know, I don't have that big ass damn vehicle payment to make. So, you know, the benefit is, you know,
that's the thing for me.
It's a frame of mind. It's a frame of mind.
And that's the thing for me with this Tahoe. I could go finance a new vehicle. I could finance 2 new vehicles. I've got enough to do that. But then you don't have no money in your pocket.
Well,
then you don't have, you know.
Then you're constantly stressing. You know, you got to go.
You're under debt.
You're under that pressure to constantly make sure, you know, you got them payments to make, all that kind of stuff.
It's not that I can't. I just don't.
And there's nothing. I mean, yes, I'm an old Chevrolet guy. You know, I like the nostalgia of things and all that. And I know that feeds into it a little bit, the psychology of it. But at the same time, I'm comfortable in, you know, not having that. As long as I've got a vehicle, I can get down the road. Hell, I don't even wash the damn thing. Half the time, I don't even wash it. But, you know.
You're looking at least, you know, roughly $250, $300 car payment a month for somebody to pay a month. And if you have to, that's the only way you get a vehicle, that's one thing. But as you know, I went on and gotten myself in the situation I'm in. That $250, $300 a month, you could be putting it in a savings account.
Yeah.
And then if you do have a little thing, something goes on with your used vehicle, you got money to fix it.
Yeah.
If nothing does go on, you put it, like I say, you put it into a savings account. If you're not putting it into a savings account, you got $250, $300, $400 every single month.
Yeah.
Take your family somewhere and go do something.
Yeah, you put that up a little bit. You can take a little do a little short day trip adventure somewhere, or you can put it up for a little bit longer and go down and spend it. You know, this is the thing. You know, most people get hung up in that. Well, I got to have a week, 2 weeks of vacation. But you know what? I've had some great vacations that were only 2-night stays. You know, a day driving, stay 2 nights, and come back half a day. You know, just from Florida alone, or North Carolina, or up to I've got family up in Indiana, and you know. But yeah, I mean, it can afford you to you know, to do those things, and because you get caught up in life trying to get all that stuff paid for, and you know, back to the boat situation. You know, either one of us could go finance a new boat. You know, but man, you know, you know, check this out. You know, but I mean, you know, we're sitting here chilling in a 47-year-old boat. There's no telling the stories this thing has. You know, I wish, being the nostalgia geek I am, I wish I could be a fly on the wall, you know, and know. But you know, I'm sure there's a million stories behind this thing.
It's got 40-something years of stories.
And this was memories for somebody else's, other people's families. So now, hopefully, we can turn it into some memories for us and for these kids and my grandkids, his kids. I've got other grandkids too. So you know, maybe this old 79, 47-year-old boat still has something to offer. You know, and the most valuable thing to offer is stories.
Yeah,
I've said for years, Life is about stories.
It might not matter. Stuff like that might not matter to some, but you think about, my kids coming up, fixing to be 8, 9, they're getting around that age where they're remembering everything and stuff like that. This boat stays around, for several years in the future. What are they gonna say when they grow? Just the neat factor, the fact that we rode. At the time it was a 40-something-year-old boat. We rode around in. We went fishing on. That's what I rode in. That's what Daddy and Grandpa had. That's what
It was funny, a while ago, his youngest one was out here when we were getting the vehicle switched around so we could pull this back out and show it to you. He was going around the boat, and see, he slept through a lot of the ride back last night. We stopped at like Mickey D's and got a bite in Robbinsville.
What really happened? He stayed in the vehicle.
So when he came out this morning, that was like, he was looking up, and for him to be so little, and if you remember, things were always so much more grand, so much bigger when you were little. Yeah. And I was just kind of reveling in the fact that he was, he's got really long hair and he's real little, and he's, he was excited, and he's like, oh, I can't reach, and he may not remember that right now necessarily because he's still little, but just those moments. I mean, that was a moment for me, and if it makes it into the video somewhere down the line when he gets a teen and gets older, he'll be able to see, oh, Grandpa was talking about me, So, but him to walk up and be so little, this boat has to look like a freaking pirate ship to him, being as big as this. I mean, it's a good sized boat. It's 18 feet. I mean, there's a lot bigger boats, of course, but 18 feet boat, and for little kids standing next to it, yeah, that's a pretty good bit. But anyway, yeah, hopefully we can get to working on this thing, and I don't know how long it'll be before we get it on the water. But like I say, we still got the John boat. We got some quirks with it. I'm sure we'll get into some kind of issues with that freaking thing. But the good thing about the John boat is it's a flat 14-foot boat. We can get up in those shallows. And
that's what I was going to say before, that no matter what, you might have something big and grand, but that jumbo's always going to have its place. It's going to be able to go in the no gas motor places. It's going to be able to get in them shallows for frog gigging, crazy stuff like that, This is a bigger boat. It's going to have a little deeper water where it goes, but they have their places.
So anyway, we'll still work on that and may try to put that thing in the water, not this, put the other boat in the water this week. I'm kind of concerned about, it's just a little 6-horse Chinese motor on the back of that thing, but even when we just ran it with a trolling motor, that thing set kind of low in the back. And with those narrow John boats, you got to watch, getting swamped by some butthole coming by. I'll make it sweet. Somebody coming by and swamping you, and if that thing sits real low in the back, and of course it's weight distribution. I know we can push batteries to the front and all that. That's what I'm trying to get figured out. It's really not big enough for more than 2 people to fish off of. So, but anyway, yeah, that's some of the issues got to kind of get figured out. I'm gonna probably take it up and put it at the boat ramp and kind of see where it's sitting in the water. That, and because it does have kind of a short transom on it. Because it does have kind of a short transom on it, I'm kind of a little bit concerned about where that cavitation plate sits on that motor. It's not a long shaft motor. It's just the boat's got a short back on it. So anyway, we're gonna get on out of here and piddle around with this boat, and I think he's gonna cook something on the grill later on for the family, and he's still gonna make a video for his page. If you get a chance, hop over to his page. It's Wood Walkers Outdoor. I'll put a little spot right here for it. Check out his version of the boat situation, and until next time, check it out. We got a vintage boat, 1979. Look at that 70s gold going on. Yeah, 18 foot, 1979, Dixie Boat Works. Yeah. So anyway, check us out next time. Go check out some more of our other videos. Until then, y'all come go with us. See you.